He released a statement after briefing President Ruto on the progress of investigations into the Endarasha incident at State House, Nairobi yesterday. Ogamba was accompanied by Basic Education PS, Belio Kipsang, Interior PS, Raymond Omolo, and the PS for Higher Education, Beatrice Inyangala. During the meeting, the president ordered speedy investigations into the tragedy, and Ogamba said the inspections would also involve the Ministries of Health, the Department of Public Works, devolved government, and the Kenya Red Cross Society. The inspection will provide the government an opportunity to unearth reasons behind the fires and make appropriate recommendations. This is what the education minister said.
So he thinks if he throws all that information at this particular subject matter, somehow it'll appear as though something positive is being done. It's not that complicated.
What is really shocking me is he sounded like he has just been told, this is your job. Hiya. That's also part of my job.
Okay, so who do I look for?
You mean it's also part of my job to actually ensure that there is a safety standard in schools? Guy, me, I didn't know.
What does the Minister of Interior do in such matters?
Hey.
Okay, and Health, what do they do in such matters?
Can you also bring, Red Cross, so that
it looks like we're giving this thing a 360. There's a ministry. As a ministry, there's a department that is supposed to deal with these things. There's a whole department. That's what they do.
Under the Ministry of Education.
Yes. Under that docket.
So we can say maybe Ogamba is still new in this ministry. He didn't know. Belio Kipsang has been there for long. He should have told him,
Eric, that excuse is given to children who've just joined kindergarten. Okay? That's when you say, this child is not fully potty trained. Okay? This child has not learned to verbalize his letters. We understand. And that one, we all accept. He walks and falls. We've gotten that one. He's not used to talking to seeing very many people. He cries all the time. We know. Kindergarten. This is a grown-up's job, and it's given to grown-ups.
Yeah.
Okay? So that excuse, sorry.
It's absolute balderdash.
Kabisa bwana.
That a whole ministry led by the cabinet secretary and the principal secretaries can go to the president and say, we are going to start a phase 1 of inspection.
What?
So what have you been doing?
There is a department whose job is to make sure this thing is done periodically so that we know. When it happens, you know exactly what to look for.
And in fact, 3 years ago, Belio Kipsang was still the PS. They conducted a similar audit.
Yes, they did.
On safety standards in all schools, led by CS Magoha, following another tragedy that saw children die.
Yes. Then you give us this litany. And we are supposed to just take it and say something is being done. Nothing has been done, except words have been uttered, and words which don't really make very much sense.
The fact that President Ruto could even say that I'm directing, let's do an audit here, and not saying, can you tell me who has not been doing an audit?
Tell me who's not been doing their job, because there's somebody whose job it is to do this.
Yeah. The first thing
the moment such a tragedy, the people who are in charge are summoned and told, come and tell us exactly why this has happened.
Yeah. Show cause why you should report to work tomorrow morning.
Yes, exactly. Or why we should not prefer certain legal processes against you. Now. Because it's your job.
Now they're going to spend some money that should be going to capitation and something else on this, emergency audit of schools, because, we need to facilitate, the audit of infrastructure in day boarding schools, private and public, and that requires money.
If it was an exam that was being set, this new CS for education has just flunked it. You've been given a job and you've just gone and displayed just how you cannot handle the docket. What are you talking about? Huh?
Ogamba, 0 marks. 0. PS Belio Kipsang, minus 75 marks.
Because you've been there long enough and you know exactly what to do.
You know this is the job that you should have been doing. This should not have happened.
And why are they bringing in the PS for Interior? What has it got to do with this?
They should go home. There's no issue about it. Senator Raphael Chimera is a nominated senator in Kenya's Senate. He's our guest this morning. Good morning, Senator. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Good to have you on the show. Karibu sana.
Asante.
That's the hot seat of the Situation Room.
My apologies, I'm late. I am a villager.
Yeah. That's one of those excuses that City is saying. There are excuses that we can accept. There are those that we don't accept.
We're all villagers. If not physically, at heart.
So sema ni saa haifanyi kazi ama ni
gari iliharibika
ni expressway.
Expressway, okay. Ilivunjika.
The confusion.
Oh, no.
Found myself in almost Mlolongo to turn back.
Return back. Yeah?
Yeah.
Eric, we've not had this guest before, so we can believe that is actually true.
Yeah, so he hasn't been to this building
No.
before.
If he has said he's a villager, first of all, we can understand the expressway confused him. He was just busy enjoying the scenery. Hiya! I'm not supposed to be going
I was
to
actually
Mombasa.
driving. No, couldn't tell.
No, that we understand. It is okay. And you prefaced it well. But next time, that village thing won't work.
I'll be here to make tea for you guys next time.
Okay. CT will welcome you with the day's proverb. The proverbs for this week are from the Federal Republic of Somalia.
A truly interesting country with a very rich history, albeit rather tragic in some of the instances, but a beautiful country. The longest coastline. If you're talking about countries within the boundaries of Africa, longest Yani coastline that is magnificent, from the Gulf of Aden coming down, joining the Indian Ocean. The proverb: get to know me before you reject me.
Get to know me before you reject me.
Yes.
What's your interpretation of this one, Senator?
Pretty interesting. Well, just literally get to understand issues before you speak against them. That's my literal sense of it. Yeah,
Usiropokwe bila information.
exactly.
So there's that. Oh. Yeah? Now, politicians are very good at reminding us these things. Many people don't know. People are talking out of ignorance.
Yes.
Many people are talking out of turn. This Adani deal, for example. People are just saying things. Why don't you just
What do you
read?
know about it?
What didn't you read?
Yes. Have you even seen the contract? And ask him, by the way, that's what we've been asking for.
That's the point.
Yeah, and
It's
we haven't
just a
received-
proposal in the meantime.
Yes. So we're not even sure it's a proposal.
Yes.
So, but we haven't seen any documentation.
What do we know?
Yes. So
That is a proposal.
Yes, we know nothing actually apart from what we're told. So, yes. So you're right. We actually don't know.
Yeah. Get to know me before
You reject me.
you reject me.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Senator, there are many people who may not know you.
Yes.
Okay. So please take this moment to introduce yourself. Tell us, who is Raphael Chimera?
Raphael Chimera is a young man from the great county of Kwale. I am an advocate of the High Court in Kenya. I happened to be nominated by the ruling party. I represent the young men and women at the Senate. That's basically me.
So nominated on the ticket of youth
Yes,
in the Senate.
in the Senate.
And
yes.
you're one of the how many who are nominated?
20 in total.
Very good.
This constitution works, Chief.
It does. Senor.
It works.
Right.
It works.
So before you joined the Senate, what were you doing? Were you practicing
I
law?
was practicing law. Yes.
Okay.
Across the country.
Okay.
Yes.
What interested you in joining politics?
Well, lots of issues basically. I have actually been a candidate in 2017. I ran for the County Assembly of Kwale. In 2022, I went a notch higher and participated in matters politics for the party. You'd recall that time the president currently, was fighting this handshake issue. So many people were not willing to work with him. Many people were not willing to associate with him. So some of us took the bold measures and steps to associate and work with him, and we ended up forming government, and that's how we found ourselves in these particular places we are today.
Ah.
Yes.
Which part of Kwale do you come from?
Do you know Kwale very well? I come from the border side, Lunga constituency, a tiny village called Mtumwa. We are basically
I grew up
livestock.
on the coast. That is why I asked the question.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, Mkavi, you do like this, you're in Tanzania.
In Tanzania.
You
Actually,
do
my
like this,
phone,
you're back in
every hour my phone
But
reminds
if
me.
you are honest, he'll tell you he has very many relatives just across the border.
a few. The phone keeps asking whether you're roaming.
Yeah, the phone always tells me, you're roaming.
Now, matters of education.
Yes.
We invited you so we can talk about education. And education has been a big issue in this country.
Yes.
So let's look back at, let's not go very far. 2002 campaigns.
Yes.
And Mwai Kibaki, the candidate, says, you know what? We can take all our children to school, and the government, through people's taxes, can pay for children to go to school.
Yes.
2003, January, the then Cabinet Secretary, Minister for Education, George Saitoti, says, schools have opened, let all children go to school, primary school. And since then, we've had this conversation. Do we have free primary school in this country? Thereafter, Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto come and say, actually, we are extending this into secondary school. We shall have free day secondary school. And the question still lingers, do we actually really have free secondary school in this country? Day secondary school. What's your view?
Well, my view
is our primary education free?
Well, FPE was a well thought out program in my own view, and I still believe, yes, it is partially free. To a large extent, it is free. But for the free day secondary school, I would not agree that indeed it is free as it is now. We still have many people, many students, many learners not accessing school because of the question of access to education. And access is basically the cost of education. And if government is saying we have implemented free day secondary school, then that would be a lie to me. I think recently we just opened schools. That has to be last week. And about 40 to 50% of learners are still at home. They call us, they call me day in, day out. I pay school fees in form of checks from my own money from the law firm, not even a government fund. That tells you still there is a problem. We have not gotten to that level and extent where we can say as a country we've universally been able to implement free day secondary education.
When they call you and they ask you for support in paying school fees, this guy was the chairman of a day secondary school, right? And he also will tell us, because they were asking for school fees.
From him, yeah.
Yeah. What for? If we say it's free day secondary school, there's no boarding.
Yes.
We are so assuming here that the tuition is being paid for by the government.
Yes.
There's lunch. And we assume that also lunch is part of it because there's a school feeding program that's budgeted for. So what is this other money that they ask for? What is school fees?
They will actually tell you, and he will know, they will tell you extra remedial classes. They will tell you transport costs. They will tell you...
Transport to where?
Maybe from a certain pickup point to the school and dropping the same. Then they will tell you, the biggest bit is they'll tell you the cost of, materials, like say library agents, let's say textbooks and such like things. And that's why we believe it is not free. It is not free. And that's why we must have the conversation on moving towards attaining free day secondary education in Kenya in a very progressive way and in a very tangible manner, not just giving it lip service. Yeah? That's the conversation we must have as a country.
What was the school fees?
I honestly can't remember, but it was not a huge amount. But when you're chairman of the board of management of a village school, literally a village school, one of the things you'll find, you see the uniqueness of the area I come from was that it was known as a sugar belt. That sugar industry collapsed. So people who depended on it were now poor. They didn't have the money. So you'll find that even this small amount of money couldn't be paid. So you are dealing with the arrears most of the time, and so you're looking for ways in which, until you got a very, very progressive headmistress who understood how to utilize or how to access the funds that are available. Whether it's GCDF, money from the county. There's one particular headmistress who actually understood it.
Yeah.
And we suddenly were able to clear fees arrears, believe it or not.
That's what I'm asking City, though. These school fees, what is it for? Tuition has been paid by taxpayers. Lunch is being provided for by taxpayers.
Yes.
So what else? What are the other costs?
Now, this is the point. I never understood it in the time I was there because I asked the same questions.
Right.
Said, these children come here, we provide them with porridge, we provide them with lunch, then we know even they all go home. So, and then the government has given us this amount of money. The government has even provided with books, because I would see the books. So, what is the fees for? What is it contributing to?
Yeah.
I am certain it was told to me, but I have forgotten what it is that I was told. But no, sincerely, I was puzzled even then, because everything about the school, the fees and everything, it didn't quite make sense. Yes. Because it was a day school.
But Eric, again, if you look at the amount that the government is giving to these schools, just let's take, for example, a day school in Kwale County, where I come from. How much do you think government remits as capitation fees? Capitation is.
It's supposed to be 23,000 or something.
It was reduced.
It's reduced to 17,000.
17,000.
Yes. How much do you think that particular day school would be charging as fees when you get the fee structure? Do you think it's 17,000 shillings?
No.
It must be something higher, isn't it?
Lower.
Or lower.
I expect it to be lower.
It should be, actually, it is higher nowadays. If you look at per year, yes.
Okay, per year is going to be higher.
Then look at the timing when the government releases these funds to the schools. Then that tells you already there's a shortfall somewhere, and that tells you many learners will be disadvantaged. They won't be able to go to school unless you have a very good progressive and understanding headmistress like my friend City is putting here. Then you'll have a chance to go to school. Otherwise, it is not possible.
I also have another context of where the school fees goes to, okay? And this is after studies that were conducted by Dr. Manyasa and his team.
Yes.
CT, remember?
I remember
and
very
we're
well.
looking at the categorization of schools.
Yes.
And look at day schools. When we call them, most of these day schools are sub-county schools.
Yes.
Sub-county schools, over 50% of the teachers are BOM teachers.
They are true.
They are not posted by the Teacher Service Commission. Right?
Correct.
The support for libraries is not given by the government. So this is where then a school head is here, has students in the school, has no teachers, has to employ teachers. Those teachers are not factored in by Dr. Belio Kipsang here at the Ministry of Education. So it's the headmaster to think of how to pay for those teachers. And that's where the school fees comes in, which brings in the question, when the ministry is in its boardroom and its papers talking about we are providing free day secondary education, are they lying to Kenyans?
Certainly, yes. Because you'd agree with me, the thought that goes into a policy decision that let's make free day secondary education in Kenya is a well thought of process. Must be a very well detailed and thorough process. Because financing education is very expensive. You have the issue of addressing teachers' salaries, which is basically recurrent expenditure.
Yep.
And I think if I checked, the ministry spends close to almost half, 500 billion shillings, to send money to schools, infrastructure, recurrent expenditure, and all those things.
Yeah.
But then again, if you just wake up and say, we will make free day secondary education without factoring all these issues, then you're lying to Kenyans. It will never happen. We must be real and true to ourselves as a ministry first.
If you break down, I'm looking at it, I'm reading it, what was previously the 22,244 shillings that was given.
Of capitation.
Yes. Teaching and learning materials and exams, Kenya shillings, 4,144. SMASSE, 200 shillings. Maintenance and improvement, 5,000 shillings. Activity fees, 1,500. Medical insurance, 2,000 shillings. Other vote heads, local transport and travel administrative costs, electricity, water and conservancy, personal emoluments, Kenyan shillings, 9,400.
So everything that we've talked about here should have been catered for.
Yes.
Including even transport, extracurricular
That's what I've just
activities,
said.
all
Yes.
those things.
Yes.
All that at 24,000, isn't it?
22,000. 22,244. So when you reduce it to 17,000,
Yes.
I think it is not very difficult to figure out what happens.
And let me ask, other than this capitation fees, is there any other money that government channels in form of education support?
Yes.
How much money is that?
What's it called? The Infrastructure Improvement
Yes.
Fund, right? Or
Yes,
something.
it is. It is. And it's given specifically. You have to apply for it, by the way. Yeah?
yes.
Because you need to say exactly what you need. Now, it doesn't come on the day you apply for it. It may come the year after because it has been factored into the new budget. But you do get it and you know exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's supposed to be for infrastructure improvement.
It is. That's what it's for. It's not for anything else. It's not for paying cooks. It's not for buying maize. It's not for buying beans. It is for, and it's a lab you wanted to build.
This is exactly that. It's for building and equipping a lab.
Yes, that's what you want the money
Infrastructure,
for.
pure
That's what you're supposed
You
to
have
do with it.
new students coming in, high enrollment. We need to expand our classrooms. Classrooms.
That is it.
The blackboard is worn out. You need to put up a new blackboard. Such.
We don't have staff room for teachers.
Yes.
That one.
That one.
Isn't that what members of parliament do as well?
With CDF.
With CDF?
Let's take a break. 26 minutes to 8. Our guest this morning is Senator Raphael Chimera, nominated by UDA into the Senate. He's here. We talk about education. What will it take for us to have truly proper free education in this country? As we take the break, I want you to go to your App Store,
Google
or
Store.
Google Play Store,
Yes.
and look for Loop. Why wait while you can loop it? This is the one we're telling you. It's not an app. People call them apps.